wasn't imagining you on that one.
I know.
Yeah, I think Dan.
I think Dan should be here, but I will go wherever you want.
You know what?
I'm
You set up there. You're not the window dresser.
no, but
You're
what
actually
I'm
the rabbi for this
no,
service.
but what I'm saying is,
Is it on?
I hope it's not on. But what I'm saying is,
It is. Is that right? Well, you don't look like it.
here, right here.
Yay. Okay. Good.
I know. I want to be like, you can have mine. Just go black. I just called you yesterday. Let me put my mask on.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Two. If you want the words, if you need them, they're on page 10, top of the page. I can see that I have your attention. Sing with us. Hine matov
ומנהי שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנהי שבת אחים גם יחד.
Try it again. Hine. Hine
מה
matov
טוב ומנהי שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנהי
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on
this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day.
Hine matov. Hine matov. Manai.
שנרחים
גם
יחד.
הנה מה טוב
ומנעים שנרחים גם יחד.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together
on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it
How sweet
is.
it is to be together
Together on this day. Hine מה טוב. הנה מה טוב.
ומנעים שנרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב
ומנעים
שנרחים גם יחד. שבת אחים גם יחד.
שבת אחים גם יחד.
You sound nice. Yeah. Remember when we used to get together, big numbers in sanctuaries and sing like that?
Yeah.
Felt really good, didn't it? Feels really good. You know those words that we just sang, Hine Matov, they are always true, but behold how good it is to be together on this day. I want to welcome you all. I want to thank you all for making a priority out of this special Shabbat in our temple story, for making a priority out of this special Shabbat for Cantor Haas, and for Andrew, and for Lucy Haas.
Yay.
Yeah.
We're really all just here for Lucy.
We're
You know-
really just here to see Lucy. That's right.
If Shifra Bernie Noble is the maitre d' of Leobeck Temple, then Lucy is the concierge. Thanks, Elias had my back there. It's good. For making a priority out of this special night for our new Cantor's entire family, so many of whom are here with us tonight. And so I want to welcome our new Cantor's parents, Marilyn and Mark Weiss, who pride themselves, that's nice. They pride themselves on being the newest members of Leobeck Temple. I am relieved to say that they no longer hold that distinction. It is bad for business if anybody holds that distinction for any lengthy period of time. So we're really happy that you are no longer the newest members of the temple, but we're delighted that you're here with us. And I also want to welcome Susan and Rodney Haas. Where are they?
Yay.
There they are. These are Andrew's parents and our Cantor's Machatanim. And I want to welcome Natalie and Rabbi Scott Hausman Weiss, our Cantor's brother and sister-in-law. We go back a ways. You're going to hear about that later. I want to welcome Ryan and Ori Prince Weiss, our Cantor's brother and brother-in-law, and Lizzie Weiss, our Cantor's sister and the Cantor of Temple Emmanuel of Beverly Hills.
Woo!
She's super enthusiastic about that, apparently. That's good. If you haven't already heard, the Weiss triplets are like kind of a biological phenomenon. They all sing like this. It's kind of incredible, and what a gift that is going to be for our temple and for Temple Emmanuel in Beverly Hills over the coming years. We're
Ryan,
so
that means
happy.
you get to sing
Yes.
at some point.
Oh, we're gonna get Ryan up here. Not tonight, but we're gonna coax Ryan into the singing act for the temple for sure before too long. Really happy to have all of you here with us for this incredible night. We're also blessed by the presence of some very, very dear friends in Cantor Haas's life, and it so happens in mine as well. Cantor Haas could not have imagined this Shabbat happening without the amazing spirit and talent of Dan Nichols. Dan may get angry at me for saying it this way, but facts are facts. Dan is the preeminent Jewish composer and performer of our times. And he just announced I'm in trouble. He'll make me pay for that later. But I am, not only is he the preeminent composer and performer of our times, I am exceptionally proud to say, and I say this whenever Dan has joined us in the past as well, Dan's bunk counselor in cabin 17 in the summer of 1984, you are looking at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bragging rights for like eternity. Dan, welcome back. Welcome home to Leo Beck Temple. We are delighted to have you here tonight. And what a gift it is to have three of Cantor Hass's dearest clergy friends here with us tonight as well. Cantor Raina Green, all the way from Congregation Beth Israel in Portland. Cantor Patty Linsky, all the way from our Beit Midrash, where she leads our Shabbat morning minyan. And Rabbi Yoshi Zweiback, all the way from Stephen Wise Temple on Mulholland. Yosh just hopped on his bicycle without pedaling. He was here faster than any of you who drove here from anywhere tonight. It's the bike ride home that's the problem for Yoshi. Since we are not likely to get this entire crew like this back together again anytime very soon, we need to sing of our gratitude for this one-of-a-kind Shabbat. And so the words you know, because we extend them to one another all the time on Friday nights. Just want you to join in singing Shabbat Shalom with and to one another. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Everybody sing it out. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, just your voices. I want to hear you.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I'm introducing. Okay, here we go. That makes sense. I'm introducing my friends and my sister. So I am beyond thrilled and incredibly grateful to have these people in my life who, in some way, shape, or form, have made such an impact on my life. Raina Green, who is my friend, and literally, I don't think we could have gotten through Hebrew Union College together without each other. Like, I don't think it would have happened. So I'm going to invite Raina up. And Cantor Patty Linsky, who we've always kind of known each other, but then we really got to know each other as members of the same cohort with Ken at the Jewish Institute for Jewish Spirituality, clergy cohort. And of course, my sister, my best friend. I'm so happy you're here. Come join and sing our Kabbalat Shabbat songs with us up here. Lucy's apparently joining. I guess I should get used to that, right?
You'll open up to page 10. Celebration of God as our soul's friend, Yedid Nefesh. Really beautiful. We'll try it again from the top. Yedid Nefesh. Please join us.
Yedid nefesh, hava rachaman, hava rachaman. Neshov avdecha, eretz zonecha, eretz zonecha. Yarutz avdecha, kemo aya, nishtaveh el mul hadarecha. Yedid nefesh, hava rachaman, hava rachaman. Neshov avdecha, eretz zonecha, eretz zonecha. Yarutz avdecha, kemo aya, nishtaveh el mul hadarecha. Yedid nefesh, hava rachaman, hava rachaman. Neshov avdecha, eretz zonecha, eretz zonecha.
You got one of these. If you pull it out and look at the lower right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, excuse me, lower left-hand corner, the other right-hand corner. If you look at the other right-hand corner, the lower left-hand corner is where you'll find the words to the psalm. L'chuna ranana l'Adonai na'ria l'tzur yishenu.
Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation, from mountain to sea, sing our song. Lechuneranena, yai lai 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 lai, Adonai, yai lai lai ya la la.
Hallelujah.
For all of the wonders in all of God's might, we
There's not a whole lot more room in this, more space inside this room, but we can make room for the Shabbat bride to come and join us. Let us sing to welcome her in love. The words L'chadodi can be found on pages 20 and 21. We're going to sing the first two verses on 20. We're going to sing the top and bottom verses on 21. That's 1, 2, 5, and 9. If you've already forgotten how that goes, don't worry about it. We're going to sing it together. I'm not worried at all.
L'chadodi likrat Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha
Shmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'hilah L'chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala
Pnei Shabbat nekabela
Likrat Shabbat lechu b'necha Yihi mekor ha'acha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh v'machshava ilah L'chadodi likrat kala Sing it, I want to hear ya.
Pnei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela
Top of 21.
Hitoreri
Ki ba'orechu mi'ori Uri shidaberi Vod Adonai alayich nigla L'chadodi likrat
kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela
If you're able, I invite you to rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary. And in your soul's eye, let us see her arriving in love.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשורה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי עלה, בואי עלה.
L'chadodi likrat
kala,
Pnei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala
Pnei Shabbat nekabela
L'chadodi likrat kala
Pnei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Please stay right where you are and turn to page 28. Ya la 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 la, ya la
La
la,
la la
ya la la,
ya la la
ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la la Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
We're going to stay standing.
Oh, I just told him to sit, but you can keep standing. It's all good. It's all you, Rabbi V.
We're going to stay standing for just a moment. I officiated a wedding this past week, and at the end, I invited all of the close family and friends who were there to share a blessing with the couple at the end. And so everyone shared, and then at the very end, the groom's grandmother just quietly and so wisely said to this couple that the secret to marriage was to listen and to learn. And that's just really stuck with me, because as we shift into Shabbat tonight, we move from a week that is often filled with talking. It's filled with talking. It's usually filled with convincing. Some of us, it's filled with a little bit of complaining. And then we arrive on Shabbat, and we really have to adjust our mindsets, because we see that connection is much bigger than words. It's about stillness, and it's really about being a part of this sacred relationship with one another. And so as we join together in these words of Shema, really our call from our tradition, that we need to do a better job of listening to ourselves and to each other. Let's join together as one community. We're on page 34.
I am here, I am now, asking when, asking how, only I, only thou, only one.
Fill my heart, still my soul. I am part of this whole. I will sing out my soul to the one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem כבוד מלכותו לעולם, לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני, אדוני אחד.
I'm on page 37. It says at the bottom of I love being a Reformed Jew. I just love it, and I love this prayer book. Gives space for us daydreamers to look at different things and still be adjacent, connected to the service. And you go to the bottom of page 37 in print that's really, that's 8-point print. That's just not fair. Judaism is a doing which can be grasped only by the heart. Well, I remember a time being at Havana Shira, a place where I go to learn how to do this work with passion, with authenticity, with integrity. And my memory was being in a loud room we called the Sports Moadone, all tile, glass, very reverberant room. Great for singing. My memory was that I didn't know who Sara was, but this person, Sara, who we all know is Sara now, was in this room, and I was supposed to be teaching, but in this moment, I was supposed to be listening. I was supposed to be learning and paying attention. My memory is that I and the other folks in the room were asked to close our eyes, to be seated and close our eyes, and to receive the sound of these song leaders as they move through the space. I hope I'm setting the scene. I hope you're seeing what I'm and hearing. This loud, tiled room with voices moving. And my eyes are closed. I'm following directions. That's my memory. And my eyes are closed, and I hear the most powerful, earth-rooted, Mother Earth, soul-shaking voice right in front of me. It was a moment where Torah came to life for me, that ve'ahavta, what will you love? You will learn to love God by paying attention. This idea about teaching them to your children, the chutzpah here would be, and teach them to your parents too. Teach them to the people who have already been taught. Remind them. And what you did that day, Sara, dear Sara, my friend now, is taught me to pay attention to the sound of the human voice, all human voices. And then when we do that, we can learn, we can grow, we can love.
Recommend getting your heart trampled on by anyone.
I recommend walking around naked in your living room.
Swallow it down.
What a jagged little pill. It feels so good.
Swimming in your stomach.
Just wait until the dust settles.
You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn,
You scream.
you learn. I recommend biting off more than you can chew to anyone.
I certainly do. I recommend sticking your foot in your mouth at any time.
feel free. Throw it down.
The caution blocks you from the wind
Hold it up.
to the rays.
You wait and see when smoke clears. You live,
you
learn,
you love,
you learn,
you cry,
you learn, you lose, you learn,
you bleed, you
learn,
you scream.
you learn. Wear it out the way a 3-year-old would do.
Melt it down.
You're gonna have to eventually anyway.
The fire trucks are
Coming up around the bend, you live, you learn,
you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose,
you learn,
you bleed, you learn, you scream,
you learn.
thank you, providence,
Thank you,
frailty,
thank you,
disillusionment, thank you, clarity,
thank you, consequence.
thank you, silence. You grieve, you
Learn, you choke, you learn,
you laugh, you learn, you choose, you learn, you pray, you learn, you ask, you learn, you live, you learn. Thank you, providence.
you breathe,
Thank you, frailty.
you choke.
Thank you,
learn,
disillusionment. Thank you, clarity.
Pray,
Thank you,
learn,
consequence.
you ask,
Thank
you learn, you live, you
silence.
learn. Thank you, providence.
Grief,
Thank you, frailty. Thank you, disillusionment.
choose,
Thank you, clarity.
pray,
Thank you, consequence.
you ask,
Thank you, silence.
We're chanting Ve'ahavta all together as one happy family.
Yes, we are.
Page 36.
So much.
You're welcome. All together now.
Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך.
ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך,
ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים,
להיות לכם
לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. What a night to lose my voice.
In a moment, we're going to be on page 40. This is our prayer of freedom, the freedom to be able to be gathered here together tonight as a Jewish community in song, the freedom to be able to sing out these authentic and cherished and soulful, beautiful, beautiful words that we just heard. And really, the freedom to be able to add our own prayers into that as well. So I just want to add this poem. It's called Cold Feet, to help give us a little intention for our Micha Mocha prayer tonight, which will be on page 40. They say that cold feet are a sign of turning back, the failure of internal will. But I say it can be the other way, the body's anticipation of things to come. Whether demons are nipping at your heels or gnawing within, here's the thing. Settle quietly, close your eyes, then take the most deliberate, deep breath, as though it were the very first, God's breath. And when you can feel it penetrate every part of your being, making the rest of your life possible, you open your eyes and take that first step out into the sea of reeds. Watered feet are just the price of coming home. We join together, page 40.
מי כמוך ואין
Adonai, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך ואין Adonai, מי כמוך נדר בקודש.
Dan, I hope you could hear what that sounded like in his room. We have Dan to thank for that beautiful melody from Micha Mocha that we sing all the time. We have Rabbi Yoshi Zweiback to thank for this beautiful melody that we sing all the time.
Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, V'ha'amidei Akeinu L'chaim. Oz Aleinu Just your voices. Just to put things in perspective really quickly, Rabbi Yoshi was the director of the year in Israel when I was at HUC. And that is how I know him. And now he gets to be Rabbi Yoshi to my Lucy at Wise Day School. Comes full circle.
We are on page 46
Yeah.
for the Amidah. This gets to be our conversation with God, our conversation with ourselves. We invite you to please rise. 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sara Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
50.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We'll continue with our own prayers through page 62 in the prayer book. You can either follow along in the words of the Amidah or take time for your own silent prayer and be seated whenever you are ready.
If there is any secret to this life I live, this is it. This is it. The sound of what cannot be seen sings within everything that can. And there is nothing more to it than that. There is nothing more to it than that. Oh, oh, oh. I learned you take a song, you translate it into Hebrew, you got a Jewish song. אם יש איזה סוד גדול בחיי, זהו קולו של הבלתי נראה, שר בכל דבר שיכול. ואין דבר לבד מזה, ואין דבר לבד מזה. וואו, וואו, secret to this life I live, this is it. This is it. The sound of what cannot be seen sings within everything that can. And there is nothing more to it than that. There is nothing more to it than that. And there is nothing more to it than that. There is nothing more to it. Nothing more. Nothing more. Nothing more.
Sara, I don't know about you, but I'm not so sure I would welcome the professional expectations that a night like this creates. Next week, Cantor Haas will be bringing us Jennifer Hudson, Harry Styles, and Adele. Be here. If you come early, you get a seat. It's good. Yes, our new Cantor has some pretty awesome friends. But more awesome still is the fact that Dan Nichols and Cantor Raina Green and Cantor Patty Linsky and Cantor Lizzie Weiss and Rabbi Yoshi Zweiback are not here tonight just because they're Sarah Hass's friends. They're here because they are Sarah Hass's admirers. Each of them is, in his or her own distinct way, Jewish musical magic. And each has found magic in Cantor Sarah Hass, just as our congregation has. Now, from the department of you just couldn't make this stuff up if you tried, the Torah portion for this Shabbat is Chaye Sara, the life of Sarah. Now, I would love to tell you that we figured that out and planned this installation on this very night for that very reason, but it is bad juju for the rabbi to lie on the bima. No, the fact that we scheduled this service on this particular Shabbat is a happy coincidence. Or the way we Jews like to say it in Yiddish, it was beshert, destined, intended to be, by a force we can only know is there because we feel it so strongly, and because it leads us again and again and again to blessing, hollering at us even, in more ways than you probably even know. Beshert, that we should celebrate the life of Sarah on this Shabbat. Beshert, that I should happen to sign up for a 2-year clergy cohort with the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, which would include a young Cantor I had met before but didn't really know all that well yet. A cohort that would also include Cantor Linsky and Cantor Weiss and Rabbi Zweiback. In fact, you're noticing a theme here. Beshert, that the young Cantor I would get to know in that cohort would seek my counsel as she was preparing to leave her first congregation and look for something new. This before I had any idea that Cantor Cates had any plans to retire. Beshert, that just months later I learned that we would be searching for a new Cantor here at LBT. And Cantor Cates asked me if I knew this terrific young Cantor named Sarah Hass. Beshert, that Cantor Sarah Hass grew up right in our neck of the woods, went to Roscommare Road School, just as my kids and so many other LBT kids later did. Beshert, that when Cantor Sarah Hass was a teenager, she worked 1 year as the religious school song leader at Leo Beck Temple. There comes a time when you're choosing to be willfully deaf if you decide not to listen to this kind of noisy ruckus. That time came when Cantor Sarah Hass performed an hour-long audition for our cantorial search committee, led so diligently by our trustee Aaron Brown and our immediate past president Lloyd Segan. She led them in singing prayers that they knew and loved. She introduced new melodies that they'd never heard before. She gave them a taste of what the High Holy Days might sound like, and now we've all had that transcendent taste. She invited me to play and sing a couple of pieces with her, and it was the first time that we had ever sung with one another. And the blend, the repartee, seemed impossibly familiar. Beshert, even. I didn't tell our committee members about any of these invisible lines of connection until after they had experienced you, Sarah. It was only after you left the room and they wiped away their tears that I told them about that noisy ruckus clamoring to get their attention. You got their attention. You turned that joyful noise into the most beautiful music. And now it is Shabbat Chaye Sara, the Shabbat of the life of Sara. We celebrate tonight because the life of Sara will now include all of us, with a voice that is filled with the echoes of centuries, including this new century. The life of Sara will tell the story of teaching students, young and old, the musical language of our ancient texts, the cantillation for all seasons in our Torah and our Haftarah, the traditional chazanut, the cantorial melodies and nusachim of the masters, including our own temple's master, Cantor William Charlin of blessed memory, and the newest melodies, which open the spirit like water from the well. The melodies written by people like Dan Nichols and Rabbi Zweiback. All of it emerges from this cantor's soul with uncommon grace and conviction. And what beauty. And then there is that song which is beyond all of the notes on the page. The song that our new cantor simply breathes into the world. A song of goodness and of generosity of spirit. A growing song of devoted sisterhood with our LBT women. A song of partnership and joy with our volunteer choristers. A song of gentle and loving pastoral support. This is a cantor you will want sitting at your bedside in the hospital or standing with you under the chuppah. Even when there are no notes, the melody is the human being. Get to know her and you will see. So there's a whole lot of beshert, a whole lot of a force leading us again and again to blessing. And yet, even that doesn't complete the beshertness of this marriage between cantor and community, for I have to say some brief words of introduction for our cantor's selected installation speaker. His name is Rabbi Scott Hausman Weiss. He was my classmate in rabbinical school nearly 30 years ago, and he is Cantor Sara's much older brother. And get this, LBT will soon be celebrating its 75th anniversary. When the temple celebrated its 50th anniversary, some of you were likely there for our religious school's celebration of that milestone, a celebration led in part by our then intern from Hebrew Union College, not yet Rabbi Scott Hausman Weiss. And so it is my pleasure to welcome Rabbi Scott Hausman Weiss to Beshert Fest 2022. He is, come on up, Scott. He is the founding rabbi of Shema Kolenu in Houston, which he started after serving synagogues in Birmingham, Alabama, and in Houston. Shema Kolenu, about to enter its 10th year, represents a bold and innovative approach to creating sacred community. It is a synagogue without walls, without membership, operating entirely on the strength of voluntary contributions. He's also a rabbinic fellow of 18 Doors and of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, a certified facilitator of Brene Brown's The Daring Way, and a trained instructor for Ayeka Soulful Education. And just in case you didn't hear me say it before, he is the much older brother of Cantor Sara Haas. It is my pleasure to welcome my very old friend, Rabbi Scott Hausman Weiss.
So I love this Beshert Fest because I think maybe there was something in the water in Jerusalem in 1993-94, or maybe at HUC in LA when we were classmates together, because, well, Canny, that is where I begin my speech. Right there with coincidence. It is such a pleasure to be here. I am so happy to celebrate this moment. What are you doing? Oh, thank you very much. Cantor Sara. Okay. Remember, I am her much older brother. Can you hear me? I have always been struck by the resemblance of these two Hebrew words, bamikre, and which means it happened by accident, and bamikra in the Bible, in the recitation, in the pronouncement. Now, they're not spelled the same, and the first one has an aleph, and the second one has a hey, and they're not even pronounced the same. Bamikra and bamikra. But for me, they elicit a connection between our traditions, understanding of happenstance, and the stories and meaning and purpose that we weave and create from them. Coincidence is what we often call it, beshert. Coincidence can be so funny, so sometimes bizarre, and often unexplainable. There I was in 1992 on the Bema lawn of Camp Swig. And in the face of bewildering feelings I was having, not sure what I wanted to do in my future, a friend of mine happened to be in the right place at the right time when I was literally falling apart. And she said, would you rather spend the rest of your life working with the kinds of people you're working with here at camp or in the film industry? Now, I know there's a decent chance at Leo Beck Temple in Los Angeles that there are some of you who make your living in the film industry. So no offense, but I knew the road I needed to take. And my friend was right there at that right moment, helping me to turn in the direction I needed. And we all have those kinds of moments. We all can relate. For some, it's just pure randomness. For others, it's fate. Who's surprised by this? It makes perfect sense, we say. Well, maybe after the fact. But as I thought about this, and I thought about coming here tonight, and as Kenny pointed out, there are incredible invisible lines of connection. We were in class together in Jerusalem and in Los Angeles. 25 years ago, as you heard, I worked here with the great Judy Aronson and Rabbi Sandy Reagans. What a year that was. It was also the year that our son Abraham was born, and he just turned 25. Cantor Sara was a song leader here, and here's something you don't know. I was invited to speak this weekend that happens to be my bar mitzvah Torah portion. And then, of course, there's the issue of Chaye Sara. You really can't make this up. So the life of Sara. I've known Sara Haas, nay, Sarah Alexis Weiss, well, since the beginning. As has been pointed out, I am her much older brother. But I'm not going to regale you with stories of her literally breaking out of her crib because she just couldn't handle not being part of the main action in the rest of the house. And I'm not going to tell you about the series, days-long conversations that Sara and I had with me in Birmingham and she in Jerusalem, kvetching about everything that was going wrong, and yes, every reason to be sad that she wasn't with Andrew. And I'm also not going to tell you about the remarkable role that she played when she was coincidentally available to serve as the first cantor of congregation Shema Kolenu, my congregation. Suffice to say, Sara, I have always felt so blessed and lucky that you were available, and a little bit resentful that you set the bar so high, few are ever able to really reach it. No, what I want to share with you about Sara is what my LA family shared when I asked them, so what makes Sara a fantastic cantor? Most often, immediately following the question, there's a pause that leads to, you mean other than the way her voice just elevates and connects me? Okay, how about the way she is so authentically present, and how her tenderness and sweetness emanate from her as she leads prayer? More than just delivering the tradition, she delivers what I want to feel tradition can do. Deliver me to a space in which I feel meaning and purpose and love. Sara really believes what she's doing. There's just no daylight between her neshama and her voice. And it's true, her voice is undauntingly beautiful. But one quickly discerns that it's just the pathway to a more peaceful and profoundly spiritual depth. Sara is all in, for better and for challenge. From the Bima, I love this, Ali said this, from the Bima, with a smile and a song, Sara changes people. Young and old, fluent or novice, those fully bought in and those who might enter her space cynical, but find their hearts warmed and their souls rejoicing in her presence. Sara understands the vibe and understands how to choose the music that delivers that sense of connection. Sara is a remarkable professional and performer, but it is her innocence and humility that sometimes just make you cry. Her voice contains a cry that resonates beyond skin and bone, beyond preconceived notions and ideas, and it just hits you right where you live. Now, all of what our family shared is so true and powerful, and I think there's more. After 23 years working as a rabbi, I am not sure that any of us pursues this vocation and stays at it without looking beyond what happens when we're with you. Yes, we strive to craft powerful and holy moments that calm your soul and mend your heart and bring quiet to your mind, but we also strive to inspire you and change you and reshape you, not in our own image, but in your own beautiful one. Our goal isn't fulfilled by teaching you or even imbuing you with the spiritual energy lying within the Shema. Our goal is fulfilled when the essence of oneness inherent in the Shema permeates how you speak and how you act when you leave here. I know, it's a seriously high bar. But we cantors and rabbis are in it to win it. We don't want to just make services beautiful. In truth, we want to change the world, one person at a time. Because none of this matters if we aren't actually seeking the tikkun, the repair that our world so desperately needs. You have a gem here in Cantor Sara Haas. Leo Beck Temple, a very purposeful and intentional mikdash at the foot of the Santa Monica Mountains. A congregation that has always sought to serve but not overly indulge its congregation, inviting a real and meaningful lay professional partnership, has scored. You have scored. And I ask you, not only as a seasoned rabbi, and not only as an older brother, and not only as a rabbi whose second congregation wasn't quite ready for him, but as a Jew and as a human being, take care of Sara. Her only real negative trait is a tendency to give too much. And she will. She will pour herself into you, and because she too sees you, and far beyond the peace she is delivering to you in any one moment. Each prayer and piyut she elevates, each song and poem she offers, each Devar Torah and meditation she provides is a gift unto itself that also serves as a bridge to alternity, to a better, more reasoned, kinder, more gentle, beautiful, more balanced world. And that is why she is here, for tikkun, your repair, and that of your families, your communities, and the world's. The truth is that coincidences will come and go. But the question always will be, how do we respond to what Heschel called the inconceivable surprise of living? Our rabbis taught in Pirkei Avot, "Aseh lecha rav ukeneh lecha chaver," find yourself a teacher and make for yourself a friend. This is indeed what Leo Beck Temple has done in bringing Cantor Sara Haas into your fold. And it will indeed be a place even more fulfilled with tikkunei hanefesh, the repairs of the soul, tikkunei ha'am, the repairs of our people, and tikkunei ha'olam, the prayers of the world. She will help you make life's rough edges more tolerable and propitious, its highest achievements more celebratory and gracious, and its endings filled with bountiful meaning for every new generation to come. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. At this time, I'd like to invite up Cantor Sara Haas and Ken, yes, right? And Rabbi Zweiback, Rabbi Joshi, and Dan. Please come up. Would you all please rise?
Sarah, Scott, and Dan and I are always going to treasure having had the honor to bless you on this Shabbat of the life of Sarah. But we shouldn't be the only ones who get to enjoy that honor. And so I want to invite you all to be a part of bringing our new Cantor a gift that she was not expecting tonight. A few weeks ago, I rather stealthily asked her whether there might be some Jewish text that she really treasures and only wished there was a new melody for it. And the text that she mentioned was quite a powerful one. The author of the words is the late commander of the Israeli Air Force, Benny Peled, who was speaking in the aftermath of the heartbreak of the Yom Kippur War of 1973. It was a conflict that Israel ultimately won, but we know that everyone is a loser in war. And with his heart heavy from the deep losses sustained by so many families at that time, the commander spoke at a party celebrating the return of pilots who had been held captive in Syria. And on their day of joy, which we know, the commander wanted to make sure that it was also a day of deep and soulful purpose. His words, Et hamangina hazot efshar lahafsik. This melody, it cannot cease. We must continue to play it. Words of remembrance, words of resolve, words of commitment to community and people and to each human soul. Words that affirm that the melody is the human being. That is the human being we have in our new Cantor. In this new setting, for those inspiring words, which I was honored to compose with my partner, Rabbi Zweiback, will forever be connected to this night of new beginnings in your life, in our shared life. So this melody is for you, Sarah. For we know your melody will not cease. Will continue to be played and sung and lived and cherished in this congregation that is now your own. So I want to invite Rabbi Yoshi and Dan to come forward. They're going to help me with the verses. And I want to invite Cantor Raina and Cantor Patty to come forward. They're going to help us all with the choruses. Yoshi, I'm going to have you over there with this guy. And have you two together over there. That works. It's all good. And as they are getting situated, I'm going to show you a little bit about how this goes. Because, as I said, this is a blessing to come from all of us. So. אי אפשר להפסיק את המנגינה הזאת. אי אפשר להפסיק, try it with me, את המנגינה הזאת. אי אפשר להפסיק את המנגינה הזאת. אי אפשר להפסיק.
Lift your voice to the heavens, let it join in a holy refrain, and the sound born between us will arise and forever remain.
את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק, את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק.
Within every spirit There's a hum that longs to take flight, made of truth and of memory. It will lead us back into the light.
In the face of injustice, when the soul must have something to say, this will be our resistance. The song will continue to play. Sing it loud. It cannot cease. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Baruch atah, Baruch atah, Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, she'echadu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Give it to her.
Don't go away. Come back. You. Whoa. I don't even know what to say. I wrote a lot, and I'm like, I don't even know. We're talking about Bashert another time, a little bit more. I didn't see what Rabbi Ken was going to be talking about before this. Here we go. So Bashert was always a word that was loosely thrown around in my family. I found the fantasy of it hard to understand. I grew up believing that you worked hard for what you wanted, and someday, if you worked hard enough, it would come to fruition. I tried not to believe that everything happens and happens for a reason. Call me cynical, but that idea was always a challenge for me to grasp. However, as I reflect upon all that has happened over the course of my life, and especially over the last several years, I can't help but blame it all on fate and on the idea of Beshert and the things happen for a reason, and that idea was never more front and center than when the possibility of working at Leo Beck Temple came my way. Having been born and raised in Los Angeles, I always dreamt of coming back to LA to start a family after attending college in Florida and seminary at HUC in New York. And when I was in my last year of seminary and upon entering placement, I was open to applying to all positions. But in my heart, I knew I desperately wanted to be back home. So when the opportunity to move to Long Beach, just a little bit down south, came into view, I was thrilled to be closer to my family. My time in Long Beach was filled with new experiences, both personally and professionally, beautiful relationships, growth in my role as a cantor, and most importantly, I discovered the kind of cantor and clergy person that I really wanted to be. Relationships are vital in every aspect of life, and forming and tending to them has always been my priority. These relationships are what help us to grow, to learn, and ultimately, they bring us to places that we were always meant to be. Knowing Rabbi Ken Chasen, who connected me to Cantor Linda Cates, who then became my biggest cheerleader, who helped me discover the myriad of connections that I have to this community, and told me stories that helped me better understand the community I am so honored to join. If we're lucky, these relationships turn into tremendous blessings. I want to take this opportunity now to thank and acknowledge those people who are the blessings in my life. I always looked up to my rabbis and cantors and the team that they created with each other. But never in a million years did I think that I would end up on a team quite like the one here at LBT. Ken, what do I even say? From the beginning, well, our beginning, not the your Scott's little sister beginning, you've been a mentor, a friend, and you became one of my rabbis. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the Institute for Jewish Spirituality for reconnecting Ken and I. Before the idea of joining LBT was even a possibility, Ken became someone who I could vent to, bounce ideas off of, and help to guide me through a pretty difficult time. I remember telling him that wherever I ended up, I wanted him to be there to install me. Well, here we are. And I say this again, never in a million years did I think that this is where I would be standing at this very moment. Ken, thank you for your constant optimism, your ability to bring the positive into any situation, and for being the rabbinic partner and mentor that I have always needed. Creating music with you is a true gift, one that I have wanted since I became a cantor. Each week we lead together. It just gets better and better. Lisa. I feel like I have known you my entire life. You are such a rock star, and I am so grateful to partner with you in educating our community. You're a true leader, and I'm inspired by your ability to relate to all of those that you encounter. I really can't wait for our children to grow up together. Look out, world. Shifra, Shiloh, and Lucy are coming for you. Scott, first you were my student, and now you're my friend and colleague. I am in awe of your wisdom, your patience, and your grace. In this short time as colleagues, you have taught me so much. Your musical abilities astound me. I mean, come on, like, who knew that he could play piano like that? And when we sing together, I'm truly transported. I am grateful for the relationship that we have, and one that I am sure will only grow stronger as we move forward. Working alongside you is really a blessing. Abigail Goldberg Spiegel. In just a few months, you have become my person. In addition to being my comic relief, you have been there to answer every question and continue to make sure that I have all of the information that I need to be successful. The truth is, you help make all of us successful. And without you, I don't even want to think about that. Most importantly, you remind me when to get out of my head. There's usually an expletive inserted in that sentence, but I chose to leave that out for this occasion. I am so grateful for you being here for me. Cantor Linda Cates. I know it's the middle of the night in Portugal, but something tells me you're watching. And from the moment that we ate breakfast together back in June of 2021, I could feel the love that you have for this community, and it's an honor to be following in your footsteps. Thank you for your constant support and encouragement throughout the entire process of becoming the next cantor of Leo Beck Temple. Dan, you're here. I picked you up this morning, and I still couldn't believe it. Our friendship began 15 years ago and has blossomed into something so precious. Believe it or not, COVID brought us closer together. Albeit physically we were thousands of miles apart, but our frequent phone conversations were a light in what felt like never-ending darkness. You became my sounding board during a really difficult time of transition, and you helped to remind me why I love doing this. You being here today means more to me than you will ever know. To my ridiculous and crazy family, you are why I'm here, Mom and Dad. Thank you for infusing my life with Judaism and music and camp and being my biggest cheerleaders. To my incredible siblings, Allison, Lizzie, Ryan, Scott, Natalie, and now Rory. I am so lucky to have literally grown up alongside all of you. No joke, Natalie's known me since I was 7, and Ori went to high school with us. They just got married in June. You have each helped me to reach new heights and become the person that I am today. I love you all so much, and I'm grateful that this event has brought us all together. Susan and Rodney, you are such a gift in my life. You have become my second parents, and I am thrilled that you could be here to witness this. Your support over the last 16 years has helped propel me forward in my career, and I really love you both. To my beautiful family, Andrew and Lucy, you are the lights of my life. Your love keeps me going every day, and I am so proud of what we've created together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. You give me life, and you infuse my soul with such warmth. I am so lucky. Okay, now I have to talk a little bit more about my big brother, Scotty. You've seen me through so much of my life and my career. You've been my annoying big brother, and you've also been my boss, and you were annoying then too. But most importantly, you've been my teacher and my mentor. Your encouragement, advice, and presence today truly means everything. Thank you for everything that you have done to help get me to where I am today. I stand here, or I stood up there, with my 3 mentors. I should say 4, because nobody told me that Yoshi was coming. Just saying. My 4 mentors, Ken, Scott, Dan, and Yoshi. How did I get so lucky? Now to the Leo Beck community. I want to first thank my amazing installation evening chairs, Nancy Marks and Danielle Cohn. Thank you for making this evening so beautiful and for your unending support. To my search committee chairs, Lloyd and Aaron. Lloyd, I see back there. I know Aaron is not here, but I'll forgive you. I'm just kidding. Thank you for making it so easy to fall in love with Leo Beck Temple. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank the most amazing administrative staff in the world. Drew Davis, where are you? There he is. Lisa Giardino, Betsy Crute. And in the short time that I have been here, you have made my life so much easier and more organized. And. You are all so vital to this place, and I am beyond grateful. And to Al, wherever you are. Where's Al? Al! He's here somewhere. He's really the glue that keeps this place together, 36 years later. To my cantorial colleagues that are here tonight, Raina and Patty, you each inspire me with your words and your voices. Raina, we battled our way through HUC and did it because we had each other. You have been with me through so many special and challenging times, and your being here tonight is really, it's just amazing. Patty, you are a true gift in my life. Your strength and your courage inspire me to be better, to love more, and to never be afraid. I love you both with all of my heart. There's one other cantorial colleague who is here. She's sitting all the way in the back. She's this little beautiful soul sitting in the very back. Her name is Cantor Anchor. She was my first voice teacher when I was 12. I really wouldn't be here without you. And I am so grateful for your encouragement, for your wisdom, and for just being there, Grandma Perrine. Love you. Leo Beck Temple has always been a place that stood at the top of the cantorial pyramid, a congregation that truly understand what a cantor was capable of, something that I saw with my own 2 eyes when I was just 17, working as the Leo Beck Temple Religious School song leader. That's where it all started for me, as a song leader. It was everything to see how much music was affecting people, young and old. To see how music had the power to permeate so deeply was unlike anything I had ever experienced. And now, I can finally say that I am the cantor of Leo Beck Temple. In just a few short months since arriving here, your community, this community, my community, has given me more than I could have hoped for. I remember walking away from my first service back in July and thinking, wow, praying here is incredible. I prayed with all of my heart, and the congregation prayed with theirs right back to me. Each week, I literally cannot wait until Shabbat. Each moment is so prayerful, so holy, so inspiring, and it is because of all of you. There is nothing like the voices of people coming together to sing and pray and experience Shabbat, regardless of where you came from or the stress that you may have experienced before walking into LBT. That is truly what makes this the best job in the entire world. I am now excited to be a part of the Leo Beck Temple story. A gorgeous, colorful tapestry filled with the richest musical tradition and a history that tells the story of the strength that this community is infused with. As a cantor, it is a privilege to follow in the footsteps of the beloved cantors who came before, and I am grateful for the foundation that they laid during their time in this community. It is because of them that I am here. I am so eager to continue to sing with you all, to continue to sing the music that is part of this fabric that is so important to this place, but also to teach the myriad of compositions that are being created for us all. And these melodies will ultimately join the LBT tapestry. I look forward to celebrating your family simchas and will be there with all of my heart during those difficult moments. I cannot wait to stand hand in hand with our powerful LBT women, form relationships with our B'nai Mitzvah students as they learn the power of Torah. And I cannot think of a better place to raise our Lucy as she discovers her own love of Judaism. My heart is so full as I look out at all of you, so many people who have been integral parts of my journey, and many new faces who I know will join me as I begin this exciting endeavor as your cantor. May our story continue to evolve and grow as we move forward together with love, with strength, and with peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Okay, here we go.
I first met our dear cantor, Sara in my second year of rabbinical school at the Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion, Jack H. Skirabal campus in Los Angeles, California.
There's so many of you back there. I've led services with all of you. Well, almost all of you.
Exactly as Cantor Hass said, is you had the privilege of leading and really teaching so many students, and you still are. You're teaching so many students how to be a Jewish professional and how to be in the lives of others. And actually one of the most inspiring elements that I've learned about Cantor Hass, I learned in my second year of school, the first time I led tefillah at the HUC-JIR. And I remember we had a planning meeting, you and me. This was pre-COVID, this was in person, around a round table. And we sat down together, we had pieces of paper, and you asked me, what's our goal for this service? How do we want to make people feel? And I found that to be the most awe-inspiring part of Cantor Sara Hass, in my eyes. And it's not just through her words, but it's also through her song, and it's through her soul that I see this every single day, because she has the ability to help us feel whole. To feel whole is to feel every facet that comes with living. We feel the joy and gratitude of life. And at the same time, there's space for us to feel pain and brokenness and sorrow too. Soon we will offer words of Amisha Berach Lecholim, which is our words for healing in our Jewish tradition. And as we do so, we'll too have an opportunity to feel whole, not just in joy and gratitude, but also in the pain and suffering that exists in our world, in us, and in our loved ones as well. If you're thinking of someone right now who is in need of some healing or strength, whether of the body or the mind or the spirit, I invite you to share their names with our community as our eyes meet. We'll take all of those souls, those names, both said and unsaid, and we'll offer a Misha Berach L'Cholim, found on page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We'll continue with the Aleinu found on page 282, and we'll rise in all the ways in which we are able.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon, la'adon,
some words to prepare us for Kaddish found on page 291. It is hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us, alone, must now become. And yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is a part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. As we prepare to recite the Kaddish prayer tonight, we remember especially Rose Haber-Alexander, Paul Bierman, Jack Chernus, Julie Eisen-Cohen, Estelle Diamond, David Dresser, Eve Duboff, Lillian Fields, Reginald Gilbert, Evelyn Goldberg, Faye Betty Green, Eugene Herzog, David E. Hollenby, Stephen Koffler, Alfred Culler, Nathan J. Kurland, Florence Lassers, Bennett Lee, Flo Levine, Isabel Littman, Caroline Fetchheimer Marcus, Jacob Rader Marcus, Doris W. Marks, Marvin Mirisch, Sam Myman, Miriam Olian, Leah Poster, Norman W. Sadek, Ethel Salinger, Lorraine Shore, Minnie Mellick Smiler, Goldie Moskowitz Sussman, Howard Turkel, Bessie Warshaw, Dee Weinberg, Dorothy Wittert. Are there other names we should include? If so, please speak them aloud. Holding them all close at our heart, along with all those who we name in our hearts and those who have perished as innocent victims of violence in a world that we must shepherd toward peace. We say, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, the memory of the righteous is an everlasting blessing, as together we give thanks for the blessing of life with the words of Mourner's Kaddish found on page 294. If you're able, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shebei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. And the giver of peace, send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us, and let us together say, amen. Stay right there. Yeah, I see people are starting to connect to one another. We're going to sing in just a moment. Our closing song tonight, of course, will be Havdalah. That was just a little joke, but our closing song will be, people are picking up slowly. It's good. Okay. I would like to invite our cantorial rabbinic friends, Dan Nichols, the amazing Dan Nichols. I would like to invite our clergy team, amazing Rabbi Scott Goldberg. What doesn't he play? The amazing Rabbi Lisa Burney. I want to invite them to come up here as well. So we're prepare to conclude this service with one another. And I'm just curious, where did Lucy go? She's still here someplace?
She went to the bathroom.
But she's okay.
She's awake.
I was about to say, award-winning Lucy Hass is awake. I don't know how that happened. I was not banking on that. But whenever she gets back in this room, you send her up here to us. Because she gets to be at the front of the room. That's the way that works. And so, I want to invite you to sing. Sing with everything you got. We're going to conclude together singing that the one who makes peace in the highest places might inspire us to do the hard, sacred work of making peace. Ose shalom imroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei teiven, ve'imru. יושבי תבל והמרו האמן יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה Oh, say shalom b'roma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei teiven, ve'imru, amen. Ya la 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 la. La 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 Behimru, amen. Behimru, amen. Behimru,
Before we walk away, thank you to the incredible band.
yeah.
We have Dan Radlauer on bass, Elias Chayette on drums, Janice Markham on violin, and Scott Goldberg on piano.
I would like to invite, we've got an amazing oneg, thanks to all of you who did the baking to make an amazing oneg that awaits us right next door in our social hall. Literally the doors, you can either go through the doors that are at the back. Don't go yet. Go through the doors that are at the very back of the sanctuary, or you can go out the front entrance and go right into the social hall right over on this side as well. But before we do that, we have to give thanks for the nourishment we're about to share for our bodies. God knows our souls have been well taken care of tonight, but the bodies also are about to get nourished, and we want to say thank you. And so I want to invite forward all of Cantor, Sara, Hass's family members. I named them all at the beginning of this service. I want you guys to all come on up here together and help us to make this motzi, and then we're going to motzi on over to the
And
social
Brian
hall.
and Bati, you joined too. All right, here we go. You ready? You gonna sing it? You wanna say it? Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
Shabbat shalom!
Ready? Holy cajoli.
Bring it out. Give me a little piece, Scott.
Lucy has challah.
That's a very little piece.
Lucy, go get some challah for us. Give Uncle Ryan, he asked.